Hello, I am Jennifer Crawford. Thank you for joining us. The fallout from the United States removal of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro looks to shift to the Sunshine State. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has encouraged State Attorney General James Uthmeier to explore a state legal case against the ousted Maduro on charges of drug trafficking and releasing criminals into the United States. Meanwhile, in Southwest Florida, there are mixed reactions to the political changes happening in Venezuela. WGCU's Culture and Connections reporter Elizabeth Andarge spoke with one student living under temporary protected status who is dealing with the changes to his homeland and with U.S. immigration policy.
For 22-year-old Eric Tovar, now a junior at FGCU, the last 9 months have been intensified with uncertainty.
Definitely a lot of things have changed as far as the government, as far as the politics, as far as the general hope that we have. As of right now, my current hope is that the people of Venezuela that are still there get to experience freedom.
In November, the Supreme Court allowed the federal government to move forward with immediately ending TPS for Venezuela. However, Venezuelans who already have employment authorization can legally stay through October of 2026.
As far as the current TPS status, what we're hoping is the TPS gets to be, fully acknowledged and respected by authorities, and that those protections can be guaranteed for the people that have been here on a complete legal basis. People that are students, professionals, that are seeking higher education, people that are here to make a living and had no choice but to come to the States because they were being persecuted. People are hoping that what will come to be will be perhaps a new law.
Tovar's family founded Casa Venezuela in Southwest Florida, an organization that supports Venezuelans living throughout the region. So when Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was captured, the Tovars were among those who met at Centennial Park to celebrate.
My family, my mom, my parents, they were running around the house, rejoicing, jumping around, dancing. There was music playing, all to finally celebrate the capture of the dictator. What this means for the Venezuelan people, it means a huge step forward for the liberation of my people, of my nation.
It's a delicate balance, celebrating potential freedom for Venezuela while facing the loss of protection here. But Tovar says he won't stop speaking out.
The one thing I would like Americans to understand fully about us is that the Venezuelan people and us, we have a heart that longs for freedom. We have a fire that burns in us to see families come together once again, for captives to be released, for justice to finally take place. And we are willing to go as any means as necessary to see that reality be made, not just for ourselves, but for the generation that comes after me. I'm only 22 years old, but I love Venezuela and I love America. And I love seeing people come together from different cultures to ensure that there will be liberty and freedom for those that need it the most.
For WGCU News, I'm Elizabeth Andarge.
For more on the continuing situation in Venezuela, we are joined by Mayela Rojas, a businesswoman and former owner of Univision in Southwest Florida, who immigrated from Venezuela to Naples in 1996. Ms. Rojas, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
When you first heard this news that Maduro was captured, what was your immediate reaction?
Well, it was definitely a sense of joy and happiness, especially because of the Venezuelans have suffered with this dictatorial regime for many, many years. I could say since 1999, when Chavez came into power, everything started to fall down in my country, Venezuela.
Now, almost half of Venezuelans in the United States live in South Florida. You were in Doral recently.
Yes.
What is the pulse of the community of Venezuelans in South Florida right now?
I would like to say that that was a day of celebration. I was in Doral. I went with my friends and my family just to celebrate the starting of a real change finally in our country. As you know, more than 486,000 immigrants came in 2016 when the crisis was terrible in Venezuela. And it was because of the hunger and the out of power that they had, no electricity in the country, no way to find a decent job. As you know, the salary in Venezuela can be $3 a month. So it was a terrible situation. So almost 500,000 Venezuelans came in that year to not only to the United States, but also to other countries in Latin America. So I would say that this is one of the worst emigrating situations in the world as of today. So that's why it was a very historic that day, January 3rd, what happened. And as I said, is the beginning of a new era for Venezuela and South America.
Can you describe conditions, even, I know you mentioned 2016, but if you carry forward till now, what are the conditions like? I know you said you were afraid to go back after 2009.
Yes. I came in 1996 straight to Naples. And my last time that I went to my country was in 2009. It was very unsafe, especially because kidnappings started and also the political instability. It was just super bad. So I didn't feel safe to take my kids back to Venezuela, even though my immediate family was living there. So everything started to just the situation came worse because of all these narco terrorists and all the insecurity, and also they created like a parallel police called the colectivos, which they were trying on the streets to dominate the normal population in our country. So that situation started to become super dangerous. People started to be afraid to go out and do any normal activity that you do in a free country. So the situation, I will say, became very, very bad year to year.
You are looking forward to the future. What is your hope for your home country?
I am looking forward for the future. As you know, my country was one of the richest countries in the world because of the oil in the 1950s. And just to know that we have so many resources, not only natural resources, but other resources in our country, with the help of the United States, I think we are going to start to shine again, not only with the economy, but also with the technology, also with the education. I had a free education in my country, and I'm so proud of that. And I've been proud, and I will say all Southwest Florida knew what I did and how proud I was to be Venezuelan. So I think the future is bright. I think we are always going to have different opinions. This is a free country, but I believe we were all dreaming to see what happened on January 3rd in our hearts, in our minds, and just to see that becoming a reality, it was like we were all in shock, but very happy.
And you mentioned that you wanted to go back and buy a condo. You mentioned that to me.
I really, as a businesswoman, and also having the opportunity, maybe in the near future, to invest dollars in my country, that would be a dream as well. Why not? Why not helping the economy of my country to start to rise? And I will do that 100%. I wish I could go and take vacation with my kids. They're not kids anymore, 27 and 23, but they haven't been for so many years. So it will be a great thing.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining us. You are so accomplished
Thank
and
you,
well spoken,
Jennifer.
and we appreciate your time
Thank you so
today,
much.
Maisha. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you, from news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.